Hello everyone, Catweazle here, welcome to the channel and welcome back to our playthrough of Arkham Horror, the card game, where we're playing through the Dunwich Legacy campaign. We are on our first scenario, which is 1B, the house always wins. Our intrepid investigators are Zoe Samaras and Daisy Walker. They are currently at the back of the Clover Club. They have found Dr. Francis Morgan. They've got to get him out of a trance. Then they have got to escape the club. And there is a horrible servant of the lurker monster making its way towards them. Time is running out if they want to escape. Okay, so we're just about to start episode 4 and round 10, but before we do, yes, a couple of cock-ups. First of all, we've got dissonant voices, which I got wrong. I got confuzzled about the word play. What play means is taking a card out of your hand down here and put it into your play area. It doesn't mean using a card in your play area. Yeah, so it's an easy mistake to make, really. But I can use cards in my play area, so we could have attacked... Zoe could have attacked the Servant of the Lurker last turn. She didn't. But as it stands, I think that's worked in our favour anyway. I'm not so sure that was a good idea. I think it's just best to wait for the Servant of the Lurker to attack us and engage with us. So I think not attacking it last turn, I don't think we've lost much by not doing that. So that was Dissonant Voices, which I got wrong. And the other thing is me being forgetful again and shooting myself in the foot again. Dr. Milan Christopher, who is Daisy's ally, well, when we investigate, we should be gaining a resource as a reaction. Now, we've investigated tons of times with Dr. Christopher, and I forgot about those resources. So, Daisy's currently on 5. She should be on probably about 12. But we'll leave it as is. We'll just pretend that they forgot to pick up the resources, which, in effect, is what they've done. So we'll put Dr. Milan Christopher back. I'll have to try and remember that. There are lots and lots of little things that you've got to remember. You end up with so many cards out that there is quite a bit to remember. Any other changes? Don't think so. Oh, apart from I've moved the victory point display. I've just moved it down a bit. So that is now there. We're on 3 victory points. We could pick up a couple more if we can kill this Servant of the Lurker and pick up that last clue there at the back alley. But let's get on with the actual game itself. Let's move into episode 4 and round 10. And that means the laugh and chuckle phase. And here we are at the laugh and chuckle phase, which means we get a doom. We're on 2 doom, but that is okay. The agenda is at 7, so we've got a bit of time yet. So that's the doom. Next up is Zoe. We'll take Zoe first, and that means she gets a laugh and chuckle card. Not 2, just the 1. They do stick together a bit, these. And here we go. What's she got? Oh, Curse Luck. Revelation. Put Curse Luck into play in your threat area. You get -1 skill value during your skill tests. So we've got to sort of beat a skill test by 1 or more to get rid of this. Oh, just what we need when this monster's turning up. I wanted her to investigate for that clue as well, so that is going to cause us a bit of a problem. And I don't think I've got any intellect icons to actually chuck at the investigation either. No, I haven't, have I? Oh, I've got 1 on emergency aid, but I don't really want to get rid of that. Well, that's going to be a problem. So that is Zoe. Next up is Daisy. Make sure it's 1, right, and Dissonant Voices. Well, we saw this. Hopefully I'll play it correctly this time. We should be fine. She's parlaying this turn, so she's not doing any... She's not using any assets or events, and then we can get rid of it at the end of the round. And yeah, that's not a bad card. The worst sort of card we could get for Daisy is actually an enemy card. That would be bad. But let's see if she can actually parlay and persuade Dr. Francis Morgan to accompany us. But first she's got to wake him up out of that trance. Okay, so that's the mythos phase. Next up is the investigation phase. Zoe is our first investigator, so I've moved back alley down. We're trying to get this clue. The reason why we're trying to get the clue is we want the victory point, and that'll put us up to 4. So we are going to investigate. Now, we have got an intellect of 2, but curse luck is in play. So it's essentially 2 versus a shroud of 1, but we get -1, so it's 1 versus 1. So we need a 0 or better. I'm not chucking anything at it, so let's see if we can sort something out. And it is... Ooh, it's a skull, but we can pay 2 resources and make that a 0. So that's well worth 2 resources to get a victory point. So we do get that, and we do get a victory point. So that is great, and it also means it only took us 1 action. Let's get rid of that. And now we've got 2 actions left for our second action. What we're going to do is, I think we're going to promote first aid. Oh, we can't get rid of curse luck, by the way, because we ended up with a 0. We have to beat it by 1. And first aid, cost 2. It's got a willpower icon, talent, science, uses 3 supplies. If first aid has no supplies, discard it. And as an action, we can spend a supply, heal 1 damage or horror from an investigator at your location. So we'll pop that here. It's going to cost us 2. So we'll take 2 of these. In fact, we'll put 2 there. And the third one, we won't bother putting in because we're going to spend an action to actually heal a horror. Let's get back to our full horror of 6, our full sanity, sorry, of 6. And yeah, we need the most sanity that we can get. We are going to be doing a bit of fighting, and we don't want to go insane. So there we go. I've messed all these up, haven't I? Right. And yes, so that is it for her, isn't it? There is nothing else. And yes, not a bad turn. We got a victory point, and we managed to heal a horror. Okay, next up is Daisy Walker. It's Daisy time. So here we are, and she's got to be at her persuasive best, because I brought down Dr. Francis Morgan here. We have to parlay with him. Now, according to All In, our act card, we've got to do a willpower test at 3. Now, our willpower is 3, so that is 3 each. As regards chucking something at it, we're not going to get rid of Shortcut. That does have a willpower icon. Ward of Protection has a wildcard icon. We could use that as well, and that's pretty much it, I think. I think we've got 3 actions, so let's go for it. I've factored in perhaps taking 2 turns to do this. That's what we'll do. We'll spend our first action, and we'll just go willpower against willpower. So we need a 0 or better. Come on. And we get a -2. That's rubbish. So we're going to go again. And we get a tentacle. Now it's going bad. And our final pick is a 0. We did get a 0 at the end. So we put 1 clue on him. We're finally managing to raise him out of his stupor, but not quite. So, oh, it's just hanging on now. That's bad. We need to move on a bit. We could have done with succeeding at 2 there. But to be fair, I'm glad I didn't chuck, what was it, Ward of Protection. Those first 2 failures wouldn't have made a difference anyway. So there we go. And we still have 1 tome action left. And I think what we'll do is we'll use medical texts, I think, for a change. And yeah, choose an investigator at your location. We're going to test our intellect, which is currently 6, and if we succeed, we'll heal 1 damage from that investigator. Let's get her back up to 5 health. So it's 6 versus 2. So -4 or better. We get a -3, so we only just did it. What a time to start pulling low numbers. But it worked. Do we exhaust it? No, it's just an action. So we do manage to heal and get back up to full health. Well done, Daisy. She's back up to 5. All right. Well, not a brilliant round there. As far as the investigation phase goes, we're struggling a bit, and we just need to get Dr. Morgan on our side, and then we just do a runner. So unfortunately we weren't able to do that, so let's get into what will be quite a funky enemy phase. And here we are at the enemy phase. So the Servant of the Lurker, it is faced with a choice. Daisy Walker or Zoe Samaras, they're both 1 location away, so it would default to its prey instruction, lowest agility, but they've both got low agility, so we get to pick. They've both got an agility of 2, so we are going to pick Zoe Samaras. This will engage with Zoe Samaras, so we're going to have to do a few things. I'll just put it here in a threat area. First of all, we gain a resource, but we're going to lose it immediately. Why are we going to lose it immediately? Because we're going to use it to pay for Zoe's cross, because I've finally remembered it. As a reaction, after an enemy comes engaged with you, exhaust Zoe's cross and spend 1 resource, deal 1 damage. So we've already got it down to 4 health. So I'll exhaust that. We've paid the resource. Put a damage on the Servant of the Lurker. But the Servant of the Lurker is going to damage us. It's going to hit us for 2 health, so we'll go down to 6. And it's also going to hit us for 2 sanity, so that'll put us down to 4. But we should have 3 actions to go at it next turn. Well, I hope so anyway, if something really crappy doesn't happen. But yes, that is it for the enemy phase. I think I've remembered everything there. So next up, it is the upkeep phase. Here we are at the upkeep phase. So first things first, we get to refresh Zoe's cross. Awesome. So we'll do that. And we get all our actions back. 1, 2, 3. Let's do the same for Daisy. 1, 2, 3. And her tome action. Okay, so now we're into drawing cards. So Zoe gets a card. She gets double or nothing. This is a great card. This is one of the new cards. Not only do you get a very nice wildcard icon on it, it's a skill. And max 1 committee per skill test. It's got fortune keyword. Double the difficulty of this skill test. If this skill test is successful, resolve the effects of the successful test twice. That's really, really good. Not too good against the Servant of the Lurker though, because that has got 4 combat, so that's quite a difficult test. Doubling that, obviously it takes it up to 8, but if you have a test that is 1 or 2, then it could be really good. So that's double or nothing. We'll pop that in there. We've got a bit of a space, and we get another resource. So cool, pop that in here. What else have we got? We have got Daisy. So, bloody hell, she don't want an encounter card. Steady on. So, she gets Perception, Skill, 2 intellect icons, max 1 committed per skill test. If this test is successful, draw a card. At last I've found it. So that gives us 9 in our hand. We're going to have to get rid of 1. But just before we do that, we get a 6th resource. We'll pop that in there. What are we going to get rid of? We probably don't need perception really, but you never know. We'll get rid of deduction. We're not getting any more clues, so we can get rid of that. And it's on. If we were to commit this has only got 1 intellect icon. At least perception has got 2, so we'll get rid of deduction. Pop that over there. And I think that is it. Yes, that's it for the upkeep phase. So what I'll do is I'll go away. I will upload this, and then I will come back shortly with round 11. Here we are, round 11, and the laugh and chuckle phase. Yes, one thing I noticed, when I paid for Zoe's cross, I said like I put it right back on a bloody pile. Anyway, I've took it off now and I've put it back in the supply, so that's where it should be. And the other thing is, yes, I don't think I put it out in the upkeep phase, but there is the damage that is on the Servant of the Lurker. Okay, so now we're at the Mythos phase of round 11, so Doom. We're on 3 Doom, 7 on the agenda, but we are getting there. We've got to get a move on, we've got to get out of the Clover Club. Right, who's going first? Well, we're going to swap round. We're going to have Daisy go first. Why are we having Daisy go first? Well, if she can actually get a hold of Dr. Morgan, then Zoe has got a better idea of, you know, what to do. I mean, there may be an opportunity for us just to take attack of opportunity and resign. So I think it's sensible that actually Daisy goes first. I think that is for the best, and then we'll have a better tactical idea of what to do on Zoe's turn. Zoe's probably going to try and kill the Servant of the Lurker, but if something happens, you know, you get a bad run of cards or we pull badly out of the chaos bag, we may just have the opportunity just to resign, because we do have a shortcut for Daisy. She might be able to get to the back alley and resign herself with Dr. Francis Morgan, and that means she will have escaped, and we'll just have to make a call on whether it's worth it then for Zoe to actually carry on fighting this Servant of the Lurker. So Daisy's going to go first, which means she is going to pull an encounter card. Don't be an enemy. Don't be an enemy. Oh, fine. We've got Arousing Suspicions, which is a treachery card. Revelation. Place 1 doom on each criminal enemy at your location. If no doom was placed by this effect, lose 2 resources. Eyes are all around you, watching your every move. Now, we could use Ward of Protection, but why bother? It's not bad. We don't have to put a doom on any criminal. We're just going to lose 2 resources. We can put up with that, I think. So we'll lose the 2 resources and we'll get rid of Arousing Suspicions. We'll pop that in there. So she has gone. It is now Zoe. Make sure we've got a single card. What's she got? Oh, she's got an enemy. Ah, this might cause us problems, because that is going to use up an action. We're going to have to fight this. It's got Retaliate as well, which isn't good. Human Criminal Syndicate. We lose a resource when it attacks us. So, ooh. Anyway, it's going to engage with us. We will get a resource because it hasn't attacked us yet. But it is going to engage with us. So, there's a resource. We'll pop that on there. Yes, we could have done without that. And we still got cursed luck. Cursed luck. But, yeah, I wanted a full 3 actions at that Servant of the Lurker just in case. Okay, well, that's it is what it is. Let's get across to the investigation phase and see if Daisy can persuade Dr. Morgan. Alright, here we are with Daisy. We've brought Dr. Morgan down again. We just need to one more parlay success and we've done it. And it's 3 versus 3, isn't it? Are we going to chuck that ward of protection? Are we going to commit it? Are we going to commit this wildcard icon? Yeah, let's go for it. We're going to commit it. So it's now a 4 against 3. We need a -1 or better. Skull will do us. Come on. A +1. Yes. Woohoo. That is fantastic. So we now get the 2 required clues on Dr. Francis Morgan. He now joins our team. So what we have to do now, we've got to do a bit of, we've got to change up a little now. Dr. Francis Morgan goes straight onto our team like this. Now he's an ally. Yep. Sometimes these cards aren't allies. Sometimes they're just assets, in which case, you know, they just join up here. But he is actually an ally, and what that means is we have to say goodbye to poor old Dr. Christopher. But we don't really need that +1 intellect anymore, he says, hopefully. So he has to be discarded. And Dr. Morgan takes his place. You can only have 1 ally at a time. So it's like the Necronomicon, you know, Daisy's Necronomicon, if that comes into play and we've got both of our hands full of, you know, other tomes, we have to get rid of one of the other tomes. It's just the way it is. But he does give us 4 damage that we can take. So that's great. That should help us to try and escape. And try and escape is what we are going to do because that only took us 1 action. Yes! And that means let's get up to the map. And here we are at the map. So first of all, we're going to move. So we move to the Darkened Hall. Then we are going to play Shortcut. So Shortcut is fast. It allows us to move to another location. We are going to move next to Zoe, here in the back alley. But that's okay because all of the monsters are engaged with Zoe. So they are not going to attack Daisy. Then we have, that was her second action and her shortcut. Then for her final action, I think what we are going to do is... Actually, I'm just going to check the timing, won't be a second. Yes, I'm back. Sorry about that. I was just checking if Daisy resigned, did we just finish straight away? But no, each undefeated investigator has got to. So for a final action, I believe she is going to resign. So let me just check I've done that right. We got Dr. Morgan. He joined us. We got rid of Dr. Milan Christopher. We can only have 1 ally. That's correct. Then we used our second action to move to the Darkened Hall. We played a fast action to play Shortcut, which got us to back alley. It's our final action. We are going to resign. Well, Daisy is. So she has resigned. She's got the hell out. Zoe is there in the back alley fighting these monsters and she's going like, go, go, go. So Daisy and Dr. Morgan are sort of legging it down the alley while Zoe is trying to hold off these 2, the mobster and the Servant of the Lurker. Oh, it's really bad the mobster came out when he did, you know. It's just struck me. During the enemy phase, the actual servant of the lurker would kill him. So, we might be able to ignore the... Oh, no. We couldn't ignore the mobster, could we? Oh, don't think about... Right, what I'll do, I'll have a quick think, but we've got to get over to Zoe anyway, so we'll get over to her player area. And here we are at Zoe's player area, so let's get the mobster and the servant of the lurker. Yeah, the mobster's probably trying to flee the club as well, and he's attacking Zoe to try and escape. The servant of the lurker's just attacking anything that's there, so they're both in here. I forgot I could have exhausted Zoe's cross again, couldn't I, to put a damage on the mobster, but I forgot. But it doesn't matter anyway. What we've got to do is attack this servant of the lurker, I think. If we can kill that, then we could resign. If we do that with our first two actions, yeah, and get 2 health on it, for each of our first 2 actions, we can resign with our last action. That will provoke an attack of opportunity from the mobster, but he only does 1 damage, yeah? So I think we can take that. I mean, what we could do is we could resign now and just take attacks of opportunity off both of these. We'd lose 2 more sanity and 3 more health. We'd still be alive and we'd escape, but victory point. Let's go for that last victory point. If we can't kill it, then we can't kill it, and we'll just do a runner, and we'll take those attacks of opportunity. Right, so we're going to attack the servant of the lurker. It's got 4 combat. We've got 4 combat. We've got a machete. We've got, yeah, which puts it up to 5. And let's spend some of these cards here. We'll spend overpower. That'll make it 7. Will it? Yep, 7 versus 4. I've got curse luck as well, I've got to remember that. 7 plus this fire axe, that's 8, plus the plus the colt, so that's 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I put those 4 against it, the reason I'm uploading is if we pass by more than 1, we get rid of curse luck. So that's better for our next attack. So that is 4, 5, so it's 9 versus 4, but it's really 8 versus 4 because of curse luck. We need a -4 or better, and we get a cultist, which is -3. That's great. We also get 3 resources, I think. Not that we need them, but let's put them on. So that got us an extra, so we're up to 3. Because we got 1 damage for actually hitting him and another damage for the machete. We get rid of these. Overpower was successful. So we get another card. What do we get? We get Guts. So, 2 willpower icons. But it's not going to do us much good as it stands now. So that was our first action. We just need 2 more. It's got 5 health. We just need 2 more. We've got rid of Curse Luck. Put that over there. So this is it, isn't it? If we're going to do it, we've got to do it now. We may as well chuck If It Bleeds. That has got a combat icon. We will use Double or Nothing because that has got a wildcard icon. Is there anything else? No, there isn't. So that's +2. 6, 7. It's 7 versus 4. Curse Luck has gone. We need a -3 or better, and we kill it. Come on. a -2. Yes. That is the 2 damage we need onto the Servant of the Lurker. The Servant of the Lurker is dead. That gives us an extra victory point, which is brilliant. So, woo! We get rid of the Servant of the Lurker. Put that over there. We get an extra victory point, which is 5. We have 1 action left. We are not going to take the mobster on. We are going to resign. Because we resign, we will take an attack of opportunity, I believe. I'll just check that in a moment, but I think that's what happens. So we will quite cheerfully take that. He will try and blackjack us as we escape. We go down to 5 health, but we have resigned. And we have won, I think. We've done it. If each undefeated investigator has resigned, advance. Yes, I think we have. Right, I'll pull out. I'll just check that I am allowed to resign. I'll get rid of double or nothing and if it bleeds. I think I am. I just have to take an attack of opportunity, and we've done that. Okay, be back in a moment. Hello, I'm back. In fact, I've done Zoe a disservice. We actually look at attack of opportunity. Each time an investigator is engaged with 1 or more ready enemies and takes an action other than to fight, to evade, or to activate a parley or resign ability, each of those enemies makes an attack of opportunity against the investigator. So we could have resigned straight away and still got away with it, but we did manage to get the extra victory point, which reminds me, I haven't put the extra victory point on. So 5 victory points, woo! So, and she remained on 6. She didn't go down to 5, she remained on 6 health. And, yeah, did a runner. I suppose our mobster was just scared to death at seeing Zoe, like, dispatch that horrible tentacled fiend. And he ran off with Zoe and Daisy and Dr. Morgan. So, that is it. Fantastic. So we have finished, we have resigned, we've done all in, we had 4 doom left as well, so that's good. So what we've got to do is we've got to read the do not read. If no resolution was reached, each investigator resigned before Act 3 or was defeated, you barely made it out of the club alive. Go to Resolution 1. Well, that didn't happen. Resolution... So, has it got it on the... What is it? Does it say on here? Oh, I've got to flick it over, haven't I? Don't. Safe for now. To escape the club, doing your best to look inconspicuous as... You escape the club, doing your best to look inconspicuous as several cars pull up near the street. A handful of grim-faced men and women exit, running towards the restaurant's entrance to take control of the situation. One of them catches your eye, his hand on the grip of his .38, but thankfully he turns his attention back to the rest of his crew and follows them into the club. You breathe a sigh of relief. If an investigator resigned with Dr. Francis Morgan under his or her control, then we've got Resolution 2. Otherwise it's Resolution 1, so we're on Resolution 2. So we go down here to Resolution 2. What in the world? Dr. Morgan finally breaks out of his daze as you make your way to safety. You ask him what he remembers, and he sputters and shakes his head. It's all a haze, he explains, visibly exhausted. I was having the run of my life. Perhaps I had one too many shots. But those creatures, I haven't seen anything like that since. He trails off, and you can tell his mind is racing. His eyes widen with realization, and his face pales. I may not be in the best of shape, but I'll help you with your investigation, whatever it takes. So, in our campaign log, we record that the O'Banion gang has a bone to pick with the investigators. Well, like we're bothered. In your campaign log, record that the investigators rescued Dr. Francis Morgan. Any one investigator may choose to add Dr. Francis Morgan to his or her deck. This card does not count towards the investigator's deck size. I'll have to have a think about that. The damage soak is brilliant for Daisy, but he does give extra combat. Yeah, he gives extra combat, so that'd be really good for Zoe. So we'll have to see. If any player cheated, add +1 Elder Sign Chaos token to the Chaos bag for the remainder of the campaign. No thanks. Each investigator earns experience equal to the victory X value of each card in the victory display. So we got 5 experience, that's great. Proceed to scenario 1A, extracurricular activity, which we will be doing shortly. There wasn't a victory point on Dr. Francis Morgan. No, there wasn't. So we got 5 experience. We did pretty well there. That is pretty much the best I've played that scenario. This is about the 5th time I've played it. But yes, I especially picked Zoe and Daisy. And it worked out at the end. Fortunately we only got 1 of the real bad monsters. There was 3 really bad ones. There was the lurker, and there was also 2 conglomeration of spheres, which were they were pretty tough too. The conglomeration of spheres only had 1. I think they only had 1 combat, but they did have 6 health. So you have to work really hard to get rid of them. But fortunately we didn't get them. But you know, it's still quite a thick deck. Oh, we had a thug coming next. Then a swarm of rats. They were all coming out. Something in the drinks. Oh, right. Where were they? Were they in here anywhere? Let's have a look. Oh, there's one. Yeah. So there was one. Oh, yeah, they were there. So they were in mid-deck, so that was okay. We got away with that. But, yes. And excellent. I really like that scenario. It's really thematic, you know, running through the club and everything. And like most of these scenarios, you're really up against the clock. But we managed to crack on. Of course, it does help. I have played the scenario before, so that does help. When you play it for the first time, obviously you don't have a clue where you're going or what you're doing, so that always presents a problem. So probably why I got my arse completely kicked the first time. But second time, obviously you know your way around the club a bit, so that does help out. All right, so we've got 5 experience. We've rescued Dr. Francis Morgan. I'll have a think about whether he goes to Zoe or to Daisy. And yes, that is it for the House Always Wins, where we've come away with a victory, and there's no mental or physical trauma, which is good. And we will be moving on to extracurricular activity. I'll have to have a think about how to spend the experience for Zoe and Daisy. Next time you see them during this campaign, I'll go through what changes I've made, if any. But I think I will make a few changes. And yeah, that is it. I don't think there's anything else to go through, so thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the subscriptions, thanks for all the views, thanks for all the likes and all the dislikes. You're still watching, and thank you for all the help and support. As ever, yes, if I've made a mistake, I hope I haven't made a really, really big one somewhere. But if I have, well, it's finished now. There's not much I can do about it. Perhaps when we get to the next scenario with these particular investigators, I may be able to do something. But hopefully I did get it right, or as near as damn it. On the other hand, I did miss out on quite a lot of stuff. I kept forgetting Zoe's cross. I only remembered it once. There was a load of resources that I missed with Dr. Milan Christopher and a few other things that went against me. So hopefully it evened itself out. And we can call that okay, that we got through it all. Cool. So, yeah, if you've been across to Board Game Links to have a look at the videos over there, thank you so much. Same with BGG, if you like the video threads or you've made a comment, drop Geek Gold, anything like that, thank you. But that is it for the first scenario of the Dunwich Legacy. We will be back. We will be back with Jenny Barnes and Agnes Baker. They are heading off to the Miskatonic University campus, where they are trying to find Professor Rice. Will they be able to do it? We shall see next time. But until then, this is me, Catweazle, signing off. Toodaloo.